Hey guys, we're celebrating International Women's Day 2026 here on Capital Dance by answering the questions you want answers to and sharing experiences from our careers as well. Should we get into the first question?
Who is your favourite female artist right now?
I think Paige Tomlinson is absolutely smashing it right now. There's not enough women in hard house, so for me, I'm going to say Paige Tomlinson because she's just killing it.
I'm going to say Emily Mackis because she's got all the dubstep wobbles and I feel like we've been waiting a long time for that and it's time.
Flavour D, who's been going and grinding for years. I don't think she gets the recognition she deserves, to be honest. She was at the forefront of like bass and garage for years. Now she does drum and bass. Great producer as well. Proper queen. Legend. Check her out, Flavour D.
I think my favourite at the moment is Fleur Shaw. Like, she's incredible. I went to see a DJ set of hers recently and my mind was blown. So she's amazing.
So, next question. What's one narrative about women in music you'd like to rewrite? I think something I'd like to rewrite is the fact that women are deemed to be more emotional and men are deemed to be more technical. I think there's so many amazing technically skilled women in music. When I think of sound engineers, I think of Sarah Landry. You know, her way with hard techno is so clever and she's been sort of pioneering for a long time. So I think it's the fact that women are more emotional than men. And actually, to be honest, I would disagree fully, somewhat.
So the next question is, how do we get our tunes played on Capital Dance? And I don't know about you girls, but I get this quite a lot. And I would probably say, obviously, DM us. Our DMs are always open and we all submit to playlists. But it is a process every single week. It's fair for everybody. The records that make the cut prior to the playlist will get taken in and every record will get a fair listen, even if it's our records. Like, it's all done in a very fair way. But I would probably say, in terms of submission, make sure it's mixed and mastered properly. I don't think, like, demos are amazing, but if they're that quality, they don't quite make it in. Not because they're not good, but it's national radio and it needs to be 10/10 quality. Yeah, just make sure your brand is kind of on point and you know what you're selling. If you send us DMs, we always look, don't we? Well,
we do.
I do.
Every day. My question is, what's your favourite thing about presenting on Capital Dance? I think for me it's the listeners, obviously. Like, obviously the music is a massive part of it, but listeners, like getting a funny voice note or someone that's just really engaged with something you've said or a story you've told and playing out voice notes. I don't know about you guys, but it really does make a show for me.
Yeah, I think it's about connection as well, because that's what sets radio aside from like Spotify, for example, or like streaming platforms. You kind of get that personal connection with radio, and I think that's why I love it so much, and soundtracking people's days and mornings and hopefully making their days better by playing tunes and introducing them to music.
I think we're all very good at being someone's friend, and I think that's what people forget about when they listen to radio. Like, to someone listening, we are their friend, and I guess it is about, as you say, connection and also companionship as well.
How did you start learning to DJ, or any tips from learning to DJ? I would say to learn to DJ, YouTube is your best friend. Like, there's so many free resources. I literally taught myself from YouTube and just watching YouTube videos and then just practicing on a little controller at home, like just learning that way. So yeah, I would say utilise free videos that are out there already. There's loads of incredible brands like Crossfader that post the most informative videos.
And I think when it comes to the music as well, SoundCloud, there's so many free downloads, so you don't even have to pay for the music when you're starting out. And don't get obsessed with really expensive equipment when you start. Just get yourself a nice little controller. You can pick them up sometimes for like under £100, can't you? So it's just about getting in there, and just practice makes perfect.
And getting a studio, like a Pirate Studio, or is it Cube that you use, and just hear it out loud and have a little bit of a mess around and find your sound before you play it out to a crowd. And
play with other people. Yeah. That's the best way to learn. We were just saying, like, we all just played now, and we were looking at how each other mixes, and we were learning on the spot. So the learning never stops.
If you record your mixes and listen back as well, you can kind of get an idea of how well you're doing and maybe what you need to improve on and stuff like that. Because when you're in the mix, it's sometimes hard to hear it from the other side. I'm a presenter at a local community station in Cornwall. How do I make it into national and professional radio? First thing I would say is just keep practicing over and over and over and over again, and kind of listen to your favourite radio station and the presenters, and really listen to what they're doing and their intonations and how they're presenting their links, and maybe try and replicate or get inspiration from them, for sure. Save everything you do and put it online on SoundCloud, eventually make a demo.
And network as much as you can, ask to meet people for coffees, find stations that you want to work for, and just network and reach out to people. Like, we're probably all quite similar, literally got jobs here by reaching out to people and just kind of putting ourselves out there and saying we wanted to work on the station. So yeah, just network as much as you can, get yourself known, and just get yourself in front of the right people.
I met the boss in the pub, so
That's
so
great.
yeah.
And I think be yourself. I think that's really important. I think listening to lots of radio is really, really important. But when you're listening to other people on the radio, don't forget who you are. What makes you you? Are you funny? Are you a bit goofy? Me too. Things like that make you you, so embrace that.
What do you wear to DJ sets to feel your best / comfortable? That's a nice question. I think it's just, for me, it's something that you feel really good in, and you want it to be like, when you're doing a set, the music makes you feel powerful, right? So you want something that makes you feel your best self. So it's like best foot forward for me. But you also want to be a bit comfy because you want to be able to move around, and you don't want to be like restricted.
And know where you're playing as well. Like, if you're playing at a club, like, it's going to get hot, so wear very little as you can. If you're
Little
brave.
crop top.
Yeah, why not? Little miniskirt, why not?
What is your top tip whilst DJing, particularly to big crowds? And I would probably start by saying, don't prep your DJ sets. When you're starting out, it's very easy to like panic, get 20 tunes together and go, right, I must play this in this order. But when you go and you're vibing from the energy of a room, it can, they can want something completely different to what you've prepped. So I think have a big enough catalogue if you can to be able to go completely left and completely off what you were planning, and just react to what the crowd wants. If you start playing a bit of garage and they don't like it, then bring it back. Or if they're reacting to more vocal records, maybe you can lean into that a bit more. So yeah, I would say not prep. I think starting with having an idea of what you're going to start with in the next couple of tunes, and then just rolling with it and having enough on your USB to divert if you need to. Because I've had gigs where I thought it's going to be absolutely rammed, and I turn up and there's 2 people on the dance floor, and I need to change completely what I was going to play. So yeah, cover for all bases, I'd say.
And if there's one person that you see that's not having a good time, like not dancing, just make them your little side quest for the night. Make them dance by the end of the night, and then I think you've won.
Yeah.
That's you're sorted. What's the best thing to include in a demo before I send?
When you get to the stage of making a demo, forget about all the production, like all those. You don't want that. Get your voice in straight away, because someone's going to click on it, listen for you, and if they can't hear it in the first 20 seconds, you've possibly lost an opportunity. So get your voice straight in there with your demo.
Best one first as well, under a minute. And never send like an attachment in the email, like a WAV clogging up Harry's inbox. Like, give him a link, give him like a SoundCloud link that is really easy to click on and listen to.
What has tested you the most in your radio career?
I think you get a lot of no's in your music DJ and radio career, and I think it's hard to keep going when you get those no's. But I think it's so fundamental, because I think the people that are successful don't take no for an answer and keep going. And I do think as well, probably, showing up for live radio and live DJing when you don't feel like it. I think, I don't know, like, not to get too deep, but had a rubbish year last year, and going through the hardest times of my life, having to get up at 5 a.m. and get in and brighten 500k listeners a week with dance music when you're feeling like absolute rubbish is hard. So I think that is, but I wouldn't change it. Like, I kind of, for me personally, I'll kind of leave if I have any problems, which I don't anymore, leave them at the door and then get in and just lock in and switch on, and kind of just it's what you're hired to do, and it's important that you don't let anything kind of out the studio impact your show, and it takes practice and takes time, but I would say that is probably the hardest.
Yeah.
I think personally for me, like I moved from Australia when I was 18 and I got to the UK. So I've been working in radio since I was 15. I'm 29 years old now and I started on Capital Dance, 3 years ago? So I think rejection, as cringy as it is, rejection is redirection. And I obviously came to this country with a really strong accent, which has weirdly just changed completely. But that put me in a really difficult position. I actually used to work in radio in Cornwall and Exeter and these parts of the UK where I had a really different voice. So I think it's embracing what makes you unique, taking advice from people where you see fit. But, you know, not every piece of advice someone gives you is right. Advice is subjective at the end of the day, and you just make work what works for you.
The hardest thing since being in the industry has been getting used to seeing people you've never met and strangers online having such a strong opinion about you. Like, I know when I first started in the industry, now it doesn't affect me, but like when I first started, I would get really upset about seeing these comments. I went through a phase where I was getting trolled really badly on TikTok. And I would read all these comments and I was like, oh, maybe I am a bad DJ. Maybe I am this. And you start to believe it, and then you have to really detach yourself from who you are as a person and like the comments that you're seeing. So that I would say is something you just have to deal with when you work in radio, music, DJing. It's just something you get used to. And like now I read a comment and I'm like, okay, whatever.
What separates people who make it from people who don't make it? For me is authenticity. So, you know, don't worry about what other people are doing. In terms of DJing as well, like if there's a particular sound you feel like you should be leaning towards when actually that's not what you're passionate about, stick to what it is that you love and make sure it feels good. And obviously there are hard times, but like, you know, make sure it resonates with you and your brand and what you love.
I think also so much of it is like discipline and hard work. Like you're not gonna just wake up one day and know how to DJ.
Bring the right energy as well. Like everyone wants to work with someone who's bringing a good energy, 100%. And it's also the more basic stuff like turning up on time and like being present when you are doing the work. And
didn't turn up that much. Sorry, Harry.
At Charlie Powell.
She brought the right energy. She always does LCP. So there we go.
But there is discipline in passion. You're so right.
And my last one is, what's the best way for promoters and collectives to find female DJs to make sure lineups are diverse? I think it's about doing the work to find the people. So I think it's about connecting with it, being intentional in the way that you connect with female DJs and presenters. I think it's looking online. A female artist or DJ does turn up at the venue. That's the other half of it that's important, because I don't know about you guys, but the amount of sets I've been to where there's questioning of your work as a female DJ.
Oh my God.
So
yes.
It might be a sound technician telling you that your levels aren't right. It might be someone on the door not believing that you're on the lineup. Yeah. And it's like that shows that we've still got a way to go with the culture of DJing.
It even comes down to the decks and the booths are all set up for men, and I'm short, so I'm biased here, but and you know, a lot of women aren't, you know, 6'2", and I turn up to venues and, you know, I need a flight case every single time because the decks are up here.
I don't know if you guys have ever experienced, but when you've played at a club and then someone's come up to you after, like almost baffled that you actually did a good set, like, do you know what, like I didn't actually expect you to play so good, and you're kind of like, why not?
It's the implication that it's not the norm, isn't it? And that, I think that's where the gap is still culturally within DJing. We want it to be the norm because it's not a lack of skill.
Happy International Women's Day. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for all your questions as well. We really appreciate it. Woo!